what's going on? This is Council Poly Rob, and welcome to another episode of the Poly Rob Podcast in short form. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notifications in the top left or right hand corner, whichever one it pops up. Yo, I appreciate y'all showing love. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into another topic. Let's get right into it. Chris Breezy. Let's talk about it. Come on. Grammy weekend, the Grammys. Finally, we can say finally, they got it right with Chris Brown. Now, for the past 10 years or so, it's been a lot of up and down with Chris Brown in the media, in the industry, on the radio, just so much stuff has went on with Chris Brown. I'm not into getting into, the whole layout of what happened with Rihanna, so I'm not talking about that. That is long gone, and I don't want to revisit that at all. But what I do want to talk about is someone that we didn't realize how resilient he really is. Usually when somebody goes through trials and tribulations in their life, just as a normal human being, when you go through things, your first idea is to defend yourself. Then after that is more so like being in your own world because you feel like everybody's against you. Then it's, sometimes people might get depressed. People might get into their own shell. There's a lot of things that can go on. But for somebody like Chris Brown, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I could be totally wrong, what he decided to do was to keep going, was to keep doing what he loved to do. There was a time where Chris Brown was the most popular artist, I can almost say in the world, at least R&B artists. One of the most popular artists in the world. Number ones after number ones after number ones. Started from a young kid, can sing, can dance, can perform. This is one of those artists that, and I tell, artists all the time, there was a such thing as a professional recording artist, and there's a such thing as a professional performing artist. When you get awards on the highest level, they go by being a professional recording artist or a professional performing artist, or both. There are very few people in this world that are great artists that can say that they're both. What that means is, as a professional recording artist, this means that you are at the elite level, at the top level of recording songs, albums, any musical works. When they call you in the studio to cut a record, you know how it's done. You know how to play your part. You know how to be elite at your vocal talent. Like you're excellent. Like they're calling you because there are very few people that can get it done like you. There's a lot of great professional recording artists. Rest his soul, Michael Jackson. Rest his soul, Prince. Beyonce. Whitney Houston. Jay-Z, Nas. These are professional recording artists. They do it at the elite level. When they drop albums, when albums come out, the vocal tone, the approach, the cohesiveness of the lyricism and the songwriting, whatever it is, even if, you don't songwrite everything, it's about recording in the studio. It's about being able to give the highest, best quality product. Then you have professional performing artists. This category, this stature is about performing on stage. I'm not talking about walking back and forth, pacing back and forth with the mic in your hand. No, I am talking about commanding the attention of the fans. I'm talking about dancing, whether it's singing, whether it's rapping at an elite level with elements of conviction in your voice on stage, captivating the crowd. Professional performing artists. This means that at the elite level, when they call you, that means that it's time to rock concerts, stadiums, things like that. That's what a professional performing artist is. I'll tell you this quick story before I get back to Chris Brown. The days of music managing Cali Swag District. Shout out to my guys. Rest in peace, Inbone. Rest in peace, Third. Rest in peace, Big Y. Shout out to Young. Shout out to Smooth the General. Shout out to Wacko. Shout out to Sylvan. Shout out to everybody that was a part of our journey. Shout out to y'all, man. We made history, y'all. We made history. And I'll forever be grateful. So in those days of really getting that group together and, honing their craft, getting them to record great records at a high level, teaching them how to perform. That was my job, to not only make sure that the music got done, but I was also had the biggest hand in helping them learn how to perform properly. You know what I mean? Really making them rehearse, coming up with new ideas. So when we would go on a school tour, shout out to Randy and Chris Roker, we would go on a school tour. This is like our first kind of levels of performing, the Teach Me How to Dougie record. And in the rehearsals, I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very hard on them in the rehearsals because, I would literally, sometimes I would wake them up very early in the morning. It's time to rehearse because I wanted them to be elite at performing the record. I also, because we also had a dancer, which is Inbone, everybody danced except Third, but Inbone was the actual dancer of the group. So because we had a dancer, we wasn't going to stand around and just let them grab a mic and perform. No, you had to put on a show. So long story short, we're doing one of the schools in LA. I forgot which school, but it was a elementary school. So when we're in there, they take us to the auditorium, and it was probably about an hour and 20 minutes before it's time for them to perform. So we got time to kill. So, I got the camera on me because I'm recording everything that they do. I'm recording studio sessions. I'm recording rehearsing. I'm recording them on stage. I'm recording everything. You can actually go and watch those videos on YouTube now to this day. If you type in Cali Swag District behind the scenes or something like that, you'll see all of those organic videos. And I'll drop a video about BTS content and how important that is on my Hey Struggling Artist series. I'll drop that because that's very important. So we're by a piano. It's a piano on the auditorium stage, and we're by the piano, and Third is just playing melodies. He playing melodies. So I'm like, oh, Young, beatboxing, do what y'all do. So they start rapping. So Young is beatboxing, Third is doing like the piano keys, and Smooth is rapping. You know what I'm saying? And it's hilarious. We just having fun. I tape that. So then probably like about 20 minutes, 20 minutes before it's time to perform, when all the kids is getting in there, the curtains close, I'm telling the boys, I'm like, I take that back. It's probably about 35 minutes. I'm telling the boys, I'm like, yo, uh, in the intro, we had this intro where before the song came on, we picked three beats to intro the energy of what this performance is going to be. And what it did was it pretty much introduced um, everybody on stage. You know what I'm saying? And how we did it was we would drop one beat, like something like another jerk song that was out, and then Smooth would come out, and then we'll drop another song from the South, and then Young will come out, and then we'll drop one more song, and then like a dance song or whatnot, and then M-Bone will come out, and then they'll do their thing. So we wanted to change it up. Well, I was like, yo, let's change it up for this particular one, because I feel like we need to always keep things fresh every performance. So what they did was they came up with this thing called the Dougie Dutch, like double Dutch, but the Dougie Dutch. So they would have, when M-Bone came out on his part, the third part of the intro, Smooth and Young would be on the side of M-Bone, like like in a double Dutch, and they'll be doing this, but in the middle, M-Bone will be double Dutching but Dougieing at the same time. So it was fire. It was fire. It was a great idea, but it was made up 35 minutes before that performance. And when they did it, the whole crowd went crazy. All the kids went crazy. I'm mentioning that story because it's things like that, just on the smallest level at that point in time, that ends up becoming something great. And, fast forward, when the record gets big, it gets successful, and they go on tour, they implemented new elements of doing things on a professional performance level that made the record go where the record was supposed to go. So back to Chris Brown, which Chris Brown was very influential and the Dougie being popular as well, because he used to Dougie like M-Bone. He would watch those M-Bone videos and see how that goes, and he was doing this thing. But long story short, it was the effort. It was the effort of trying to be a professional performing artist. Unfortunately, the boys didn't get the chance with all four of them like they wanted to, just due to, two of them passing away. But for Chris Brown, he's worked diligently and exceptionally hard to become a great performer for everybody. I have not met not one person on planet Earth that's been to a Chris Brown concert that has not enjoyed themselves. I want to be very clear. There's people that's been to other R&B, artists and acts concerts that they did not enjoy for whatever reason. Go to a Chris Brown concert. Matter of fact, go to a Chris Brown concert and go to somebody else's concert. Drastic difference. Drastic difference. So when Chris Brown won his Grammy, it was like a sigh of relief for the entire R&B community. The entire R&B community. It was like, oh, finally, the artists that we love can get their just due. And that's a bigger, thing here that I want to talk about. As young as Chris is, he's been doing this for a long time. And those conversations about comparing him to Michael Jackson is still valid. It's still valid. I'm sorry, it's still valid. The way this man makes records, the way he performs, his creative nature, those dance moves that he's doing, he's perfecting them as much as the choreographer who's teaching them. Do y'all see how he move? I'm going to keep it 100. Chris Brown is undoubtedly top 2 in all of R&B, in my opinion. And, you know, for me, I'm a Chris Brown fan, but I'm a selective Chris Brown fan. I like my playlists in my head for Chris Brown are records that people probably be like, you still play that? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just keeping it 100. You know, one of my favorite Chris Brown records is, you know what? I'm going to just make a playlist and I'm going to put it in the link. I'm just going to make a Chris Brown playlist through Apple Music. I'm going to put it in the link. And y'all can see my favorite records from Breezy. He's undoubtedly top 2 in R&B. I'm sorry. You want to switch between him and Michael Jackson? Feel free to do so. If you want to put Michael Jackson in the pop category and then just have Chris Brown with everybody else, or Usher or whatnot, be my guest. But he's top 2. 1 or 2. It don't matter. The albums he released. And I know a lot of people think that there are albums that he put out that he should have got a Grammy before this 11/11. This 11/11 is really the icing on the cake that he got a Grammy for. And I hope he continues to get the awards he deserves. Because one thing he's done, he's continuously given us the music and the concerts that we deserve as R&B artists. And you know the only one problem with R&B that I have? One problem. The one problem is R&B is very hard on its artists. Very hard. R&B is very hard on its artists. The fan base, the culture of R&B, the people who run R&B is very hard on its artists. They don't give the artist an opportunity to become whole. Even if you've blown up fast, they're going to nitpick you to death. Oh, he can't sing as good as this person. Or he can't do this as good as this person. Stop doing that. We need our R&B artists to flourish and be great. Like, for instance, Lucky Daye. Lucky Daye don't have the best vocals in the world, but he makes great music. Let him breathe. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. Leon Thomas, he's coming into his own. I've heard somebody say, oh, he only blown up because he was a Nickelodeon baby. Stop. Let him get off and do his thing. He's fire. Leon Thomas is fire. Chris Brown. I hear people still say, oh, I don't like what he did to, you know, I'm not going to say her name. You know what I mean? All due to her. I don't like how he be. Stop. Is the music fire? Is the concerts fire? Enjoy the music. Chris Brown is if I'm going out with a woman or something like that, Chris Brown is my go-to. Chris Brown is my go-to. If she's more like eclectic and things like that, D'Angelo's my go-to. But other than that, Chris Breezy is my go-to. And let me talk about the Chris Breezy nickname. Understand this. There is two types of Chris Brown fans. You already know. There's two type of Chris Brown fans. There's the Chris Brown fans, and there's the Chris Breezy fans. I'm going to say it again. There is the Chris Brown fans, and then there's the Chris Breezy fans. Now, the difference is, and I may mess up the difference between the two terms, but the answers are still right. You just got to flip them around. In my opinion, the Chris Brown fans are the fans that's been loving Chris Brown since the beginning. They love Chris Brown since the beginning when he was doing Run It, when he was doing Yo. I say, yeah. Oh, sorry. I ain't got no vocals, but whatever. The Chris Brown fans are the fans who love Chris Brown from the beginning. They knew he was a star. They watch his stardom. They watch his story. Those are the Chris Brown fans. The Chris Breezy fans are the fans that got wind of him or started loving him mid-career. But the Chris Breezy fans that's been loving him mid-career are the obsessed fans. Those are the ones that go crazy for Chris Breezy. Those are the Chris Breezy fans. If a woman ever says Chris Breezy, she is obsessed. If she say Chris Breezy, if you have a woman and you're dating her, or this is your girlfriend, if she mentions Chris Brown as Chris Breezy, she got 1 foot in the relationship and 1 foot out of the relationship. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest. Because that's Breezy. She'll say things like, oh, my man is having a concert and you can't do nothing about it. Because that's Chris Breezy. The music that he makes does something to her soul. The concert does something to her soul. The concert is like a birthday for her. Don't let him come out with a tour. Don't let him come out with a tour that's around her birthday. Oh, she going. It don't matter if you going or not. She going. She's going to be there with her friends. Her friends already got tickets. She probably already got the ticket and didn't even tell you. She ain't even tell you. But she going. That's a Chris Breezy fan. And don't let her be old enough to be a Chris Breezy fan and have kids. Because the kids gonna be Breezy fans too. Go to a Chris Brown concert. You see 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds. You see a massive spectrum of people who go to Chris Brown concerts. No disrespect to all the other R&B artists, because they do their thing. But your spectrum of fans that come, the age bracket, is not as vast as Chris Brown. I promise you that. The man just finished doing a European tour and went crazy. They just finished bashing 50 Cent for not having a good performance because he not flying in the air like Chris Brown. He not flying in the air. He not doing backflips. He not having a whole dance medley in the middle of the tour. He not doing that. So everybody like, I don't want to watch this because of Chris Breezy. It is a fact. This is why they need to give Chris Brown his love back. I'm sorry. They need to give his love back. They need to give him his flowers. They need to give him all the Grammys. The man beat being blackballed from the industry. Let's be honest. Nobody wanted to play Chris Brown on the radio no more due to the incident. Nobody wanted to play his records on the radio, on TV. And then he dropped Deuces. And they couldn't help it. They had to put it on 106 in Park. They could not help it when 106 in Park was out. If y'all don't know about 106 in Park, go do your homework. Top 10 live video show. Go do your homework. They didn't have no choice. They had to put it on there. People kept calling and requesting Deuces when he's blackballed. They kept requesting it. You can't stop it. It was fire. The man deserves his flowers. He got a Grammy for 1111 Deluxe, but he definitely should have got Grammys for the other projects he put out. I'm sorry. But we're not going to cry over spilled milk. We're going to continue to be Chris Brown fans. We're going to continue to be Chris Breezy fans. And we're going to continue to elevate R&B music. This video is not just about Chris Brown winning a Grammy. It's about the elevation of our greats, especially in R&B music. I know y'all tired of people pushing R&B music to the back. I know y'all tired. So let's all give our rightful R&B artists their flowers. Let's show them love. Let's continue to play their music. Let's continue. Why not? They need it. We need it. We need it. Some days I don't even want to play no rap, yo. Some days it's all about R&B music. Let's keep this thing going, man. Congratulations to Chris Brown on his Grammy win. And there's more to come. I don't think y'all understand what y'all did. Y'all gave this man a Grammy. Y'all gave this man more energy to make more fire. I'm pretty sure he left the Grammys and went straight to the studio to do it again. He finna do it again. Thank y'all for showing love. Thank you to the Grammy Academy, to the new voters. Thank you to the voters. Thank you to the process. I think the process is getting better. It's not all the way there. It's not all the way there. But I think the process is getting better. But what we need to do, we need people to sign up and be real voters of this Grammy Academy. I'm going to sign up next year. I got to be a part of this process. I want to be a part of the change I want to see. Shout out to DJ Head for saying that. Shout out to my boy Silas for saying that. Be the change you want to see. For real. I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about this whole Chris Brown ordeal. Let me know if you think he deserves this Grammy or more. And drop in the comments what's your favorite song. I'm going to send y'all a playlist, but let me know in the comments what's your favorite Chris Brown song. I appreciate y'all. This is the Poly Rob Podcast in short form. We got more to come. Stay tuned. Stay locked in. Stay with the workload.